Welcome to Commander Quickies, the series where we take a specific aspect of Commander and crunch it into a 5-minute easy-to-watch video. I'm Joe Cherries of the Nitpicking Nerds, and today I'll be talking about some of the most played cards in Commander according to EDHrec, and giving you some alternatives that we feel are more powerful. Before we begin, I want to mention quickly that this advice is for players who aren't on a strict budget. The first cards we have for you are Putrefy, Mortify, Terminate, and Decimate. We feel these cards are overplayed because of how accessible they are, when in reality, you can grab better cards for similar prices. Decimate is the worst one because you need 4 targets and it's a sorcery. Alternatives are Beast Within, Chaos Warp, Anguish Unmaking, Utter End, and Fire Covenant. Decks don't typically need to play that much 1-for-1 creature removal. For each 1-for-1 you get, it is advantageous for the other 2 opponents not involved in the exchange. Our next card is Merciless Eviction. 6-mana board wipes tend to be pretty weak, and this one only ever takes care of one type of permanent. We prefer creature wipes that only cost 4 mana or less. Or things like Tragic Arrogance, which completely devastate every type of non-land permanent your opponent controls. Blasphemous Act, Supreme Verdict, and Tragic Arrogance are all better board wipes. Phyrexian Arena. This card is way too slow for the effect you get. I'd rather spend the mana on a spell that gives me the cards all right away, because Phyrexian Arena most likely will not last on the board more than a turn or 2. Great alternatives to this card are Tymna, Painful Truce, Read the Bones, and Necropotence. Acidic Slime. This card is way too expensive for a Naturalize. The 2/2 Death Touch Body is not relevant, and ETB Flicker decks don't need mass land destruction as they have much more reliable ways to win. If you're looking for a Naturalize effect on a creature, Reclamation Sage and Caustic Caterpillar are much more powerful. If you're looking for land destructions, we suggest putting in Ghost Quarter or Tectonic Edge. Explosive Vegetation, Ranger's Path, Sky Shroud Claim, and Circuitous Route are all much better than Veggies. No deck really needs more than 2 of this effect, and Veggies just isn't good enough. Avenger of Zendikar. It doesn't necessarily need a replacement. Big spells are cool, but this isn't worth the investment and only fits into a few strategies well. Protein Hulk is generally better even if you aren't going infinite with it. Omnath, Locust of Rage is a stronger landfall alternative. Ghostly Prison and Propaganda. These cards belong in very specific types of decks like Enchantment Matters and decks that need some amount of Pillow Forts. These cards aren't auto-includes for white or blue. It's tough to get back the card you spend on these enchantments. Blind Obedience is much better for decks that don't really care about being attacked. Nicol Bolas, Planeswalker. This card probably has high rates of play due to its coolness and not its power level. But Planeswalkers are already weak in EDH. This one doesn't offer nearly enough to be worth playing seriously. And if you're looking to play Nicol Bolas because he's cool, try Nicol Bolas God Pharaoh. He will at least gain you card advantage with his +1, even if he dies right away. Oblivion Ring. Why would you pay 3 mana at sorcery speed for an enchantment that every deck has an answer for to remove 1 non-land permanent? You don't want to put them in a spot where they can trade removal for your removal and get their threat back, potentially along with an ETB effect. Better alternatives to O-Ring include Fiend Hunter, whose ETB can be more reliably abused with sack outlets or flicker effects. Council's Judgment is another good one if you can afford it. And for answering artifacts and enchantments, Return to Dust is much better. Darksteel Ingot. All the 2-mana rocks are better than this card, and not all of them are even good. Good replacements at 3 CMC include Commander Sphere, which always replaces itself, Coalition Relic, and Warren Powerstone. Xenagos, God of the Revels. What is the point of beefing up an already beefed creature if you can't even give it trample? If your counter argument is that you have buff creatures with trample, just play that creature instead and don't use this. Better options than this card are Inferno Titan, Overwhelming Stampede, and Berserk. Now we want to hear from you. What are your strongest alternatives to some of these cards? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe. Special shoutouts to our 3 patrons, Joseph Van B2, Dustin St. Wright, and Tyler Bunn. Peace out, Tribe Scout.